Hi, welcome back. This is part 3 of my campaign update. This part is called State of the World. And what can I say? I am Susan Maud Buchser-Lochocki, a presidential candidate from the 2024 presidential election in the USA. And I have not conceded that election because there was a lot of fraud and manipulation in the system, and I'm waiting. I have a lawsuit pending with the Supreme Court, so I'm waiting for them to give me a judgment on it. And I hope something will happen soon. But anyways, so state of the world. Well, right now I haven't heard a lot about Palestine and Israel. In fact, it's really on the back burner. I don't know about you, but I guess the ceasefire is holding? Or is it just gone back to business as usual with an occasional killing or two every week? I don't know. I can't say. What else was in the news this week? Well, there was an airplane crash. And so, I'm sorry for these crashes that do happen. It's always a tragedy. And, accidents are just so shocking. So my heart goes out to any loved ones who are missing somebody from a tragedy this past week. And also, I hope that the people who passed away are at peace with their tragedy, with their I don't know what to say. With their tragedy. It's so hard. But we are pretty safe flying wise. These things are not happening like they used to. So it is more shocking, I guess, when they do happen. Luckily, it was not, although I hate to say that too, it was not like an airplane full with people. It was filled with packages and stuff. So, it's just, accidents do happen, sadly. So why don't we go ahead and have a moment of silence now for these people and anyone else that we know who has passed away in the past week. And may the survivors have strength to go on, and may these people rest in peace. Okay, so Putin is also somewhat quiet. I don't know. World is not really going on, and for some reason I'm getting a lot of in my feed about aliens and quantum physics and all sorts of things like that. So I don't know, a lot of science stuff. And, I guess this is a good place for me to say this, that I think actually like at elementary school level, it might be a good idea to have like a class on history of religions around the world. And so we can talk about religions and beliefs, and because that was a big part of humanity's history for a long time. And religions over, the older religions in the past have been governments, have been tribal leaders, have been the glue that holds the community together, because people were tribal and moving and not stationary. And then they became stationary but kept religion too as a lifestyle. But now we're moving away from that whole concept and gaining more freedoms. And so we're to the point where religion is more what we think or believe, but it's not ruling our everyday life. And we also know that it's not perfect, that there's not everything is fact. So we have then an organization called Science and Math that's trying to bring facts. But even there, some of their theories go off the wall too. But anyway, so this is where we are as a humanity in our developing and moving towards wherever we're moving towards. And, it's good to respect the past, but also leave it in the past and move forward. So this is something I would like to do. And I mean, religion is a world thing anyways, Christianity is from, at least the Western Christianity, is from Rome, from Catholic Rome. And then there's also the Eastern Orthodox Christianity. So one is Peter and one is Paul. And they follow a different doctrine, a different schedule. And everything is somewhat different, even a different Bible. So, religion is, I guess, worldly too. So, what else have I heard? There was something. Oh, the royals in England. There's a shakeup there where the ex-prince, or Prince, what's his name? Prince Charles, or King Charles' brother. I'm drawing a blank on his name right now. But anyways, he's been demoted from being prince to some other title. And so things are changing. And I think Charles isn't going to be king much longer. I don't know. Not that, I mean, I don't get the whole British kingdom concept mixed with government. It just seems a bit redundant to me. And I don't know. But here in the U.S., we don't have that. We don't have kings and queens, so we're not really in that whole concept. But we have our own sort of leaders and hierarchies and whatnot. So, I don't know. I did hear there was a typhoon too, which is a hurricane over in Asia, but I can't remember where it was hitting. I want to say it was Vietnam and something else. And I was surprised to hear that. I was driving down country roads in West Virginia, so that was a bit surprising to me. But anyways, and that's about it. I can't tell you more. I think, I mean, ceasefire. I can always go for that ceasefire concept and coming together as a community. I've been talking a lot about it in past recent videos about a world body that has a different shape to it. But I don't know if I don't think I really have to talk about it again. I think people are hearing me, and yeah, again, with the world, there might be some changes coming too. So that's about it, I guess. Well, okay. I did look up climate change a little bit, and it is true we are getting warmer. With the warmth, that helps to close the hole in the ozone that we have. And then sadly, I know people who are not adhering to the concept of lowering your certain chemicals that you use that will go into the atmosphere and help to destroy the ozone layer. So we need the ozone layer to keep us safe and sound and to keep the temperatures moderate in a living zone where we can live. And so, if we mess too much and get too hot, there might be a point where there's no return, and we don't want to get there. India is doing something right because the U.S. and China, we're battling for number one, although we're currently number one at the most pollution per person going on out there. Out of the big pollution producers, so India is one of them too, but when you look at how many people are in India, and so you go pollution per person, when you divide those in and you get a number, India is not doing bad at all, and they're quite inspiring. So I believe there they use less fossil fuels, and they get around by foot and by animal. So we need infrastructure so that we can then choose our means of transportation. But we don't have that right now. So we cannot fully move forward in that way until we get people working. So that's our number one job, is to get our country having a better shape that's usable and user-friendly. And then maybe we can also lower the pollution that we're all producing, because we are just 1/3 of the population of India, or our population, but yet we're producing more pollution. So, and maybe I should put this out to you, the people. What are your thoughts? What's a good way to reduce pollution? We got the trees and the oceans working as much as possible to create oxygen, but we need to stop polluting. And polluting is vehicle exhaust, and it's certain animal gases that come from animal shit. And then there's just the chemicals that we produce. So, and then there's aerosols and air conditioning. So what can you do to help lower the pollution level of the air? And what can you get others to do? You can share them in the comments so that we can all learn something. Okay, so that's my message for today with the world. And thank you for stopping by. One thing I just want to say about the ozone is apparently it heals best in warmer weather. So having it become hot might be Mother Nature's part of trying to heat up the earth so that the ozone layer can be healed and sealed, perhaps. Maybe it's not supposed to be sealed, but anyway, these are questions for NASA to answer. But anyway, so global warming might be natural, to help with the ozone too. Okay, so that is really the end for today. I am Susan for USA.com. That's Susan, the number 4, USA.com. And I'll see you soon in a couple of days for the next edition of State of My Campaign. Thank you for stopping by. Have a good day. Bye.